Hey, folks, that's right. Here's your man, the Dolphins AD Moore, high top NRG Stadium. As tonight, the Houston Texans, prime time for the whole nation to see, fell to the Tampa Bay Bucs with 6 seconds left on the clock. As White, the Tampa Bay stood running back with 6 seconds left, scored the winning drive, and scored the winning touchdown to put bring the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ahead. And in fact, that was the final score. Even though Tampa Bay won for two in the end, it wouldn't have mattered because there was not enough time left. Really, the only way the Texans was going to be able to come back from that situation was to be able to just, take the kickoff and run it back. Although they did show some signs from a special team perspective early in the game on a couple of decent run backs. Then when it actually counted for the Texans to win this ball game tonight, they didn't do it. It's bottom line. We can sit there and go, yeah, there are still some issues holding over from the Rams game that are now they are duplicating themselves with this team tonight. The Texans cannot win ball games playing against these type of superior teams, particularly with the schedule that they are playing. They are playing a first place schedule, and you're playing against the upper echelon of the NFL. And you can't keep going around here shooting yourself in the foot and just not completing your objectives. Even though the Texans had gone ahead, in my humble opinion, this game was lost when the Texans had first and goal inside the 1 yard line and did not score. Bottom line, you cannot have first and goal inside the 1 yard line and don't score. Yeah, I know eventually they came back and did go ahead. But far as I'm concerned, the game was lost there because you did not seize the opportunity. You did not seize the momentum. You had everything in your hand to put this team away. And now understand now, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a very fine team with Baker Mayfield and the rest of that group. They are more than a challenge to play. But the Texans had their opportunities. They did not seize upon the opportunities. And so here's what happened. You lose the game with 6 seconds left on the clock. You had Jalen Knowles had some nice returns on kickoff returns, had some excellent 53-yard punt return that put the Texans on top for them to finally to score the go ahead, give them a go ahead score. However, I'm going back to my original statement. When you have first and goal inside the 1 yard line and do not score, your behind don't deserve to win. You got your butt kicked. And it just so happened, and it hurts even more so because you lost the game with 6 seconds left on the clock. Because in turn, then when your defense had been stout and stellar for the most of the game, because let's face it, it's not too many places you're gonna be able to just shut a team out. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have weapons. They got an excellent quarterback in Baker Mayfield. You have the you got the likes of Mike Evans probably making his last shoe. I think Mike was his 13th year out of Galveston. He making it. He making his. He was a pain for the Texans tonight. They really didn't have an answer for Mike Evans tonight. So I'm gonna let you hear from D'Amico Ryans, and I think he pretty well sums up this whole situation as far as what the Texans are concerned about. Go ahead and yeah.
Yeah, we tried to run the ball in. We got knocked back there. Couldn't get the ball in, and we tried to find Nico there a couple times to get the ball, and we didn't connect. Right, we didn't make the plays we needed to make, and that's the summation of this game. Right, NFL is it's going to come down to a 2-minute drive in the fourth quarter. Are you making plays or not? Like a lot of guys gave us a chance right, to win that game. Special teams played outstanding, all right, blocking the kick, getting an explosive return, uh, forcing a missed field goal. So it's guys showed up and made plays to give us an opportunity. Now, how do you capitalize on that, right? How do you put a team away? You let a good team like this stick around for too long is what we did, and they ended up making a play there. Baker scrambling on fourth down, which we knew that's who he is. That's how he make the plays, just scrambling. He made a big-time play on 4th and 10. You know, we got to find a way to tackle and get him down and stop him there even on the goal line. We're in position to make a tackle. We got to knock the guy back and make a tackle to win the game. That's what the game comes down to. We had multiple opportunities to win that game, and we didn't make the plays we needed to make. Yeah, we tried to run the ball in. We got knocked back there. Couldn't get the ball.
Yeah, I think that's something. That. I mean, D'Amico Ryans has just summarized everything. Yeah, you can sit there and say, well, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. Bottom line, you didn't do what you needed to do to seize the moment, seize the opportunity, especially when you had a block punt tonight. You had just return, as he mentioned earlier, your special teams tonight. And here's the thing about it. Last week defense, and I'm not going to, and tonight the defense played up until a point, but then when you got guys, these guys get paid on the other side of the line of scrimmage. The offense on that other side gets paid money. They get paid the same as the guys on this side, on the Texas side. Defensive is the same way, and vice versa. Those guys get paid too. Those are professionals. They getting paid on the other side. They are getting paid to do a job, and guess what? Whoever can execute the best when it's time to win, that's pretty much it. This is not, hey folks. We're not trying to put a man on the moon. We're not trying to land a rover on Mars. All they're trying to do is win football games. And so far, the Texans have not lived up to the expectations. And there are great expectations, and it should be, especially when you won the AFC South for the last couple of years. Then your whole motif and coming into this season is not not so much. Yeah, everybody has visions and want to go to the Super Bowl, but let's get real. All 32 teams, you may have visions of it, but let's be real. Only a handful of teams are going to make it. Can have an opportunity to get to the Super Bowl in California. Only in Levi Stadium. It's only going to be a handful of teams. The Texans, obviously, when you look at whatever betting line you look at, there was a high threshold for the Texans to get over, because the Texans have never, in their 20-plus year history, have never gotten to an AFC Championship ball game. That's what they need to do now. They need to get past the second round in order for them to get to the AFC Championship. So in order, we're talking about Super Bowl. I wish I was like Frank Caliendo. Now I can do a Jim Mora, a Jim Mora impression. Playoffs, Super Bowls, but no, not yet. This team, I mean, everything is there. You have the personnel, in my opinion. I think the jury is still out on Nick Caley and his offense and trying to get this whole offensive production together. The offensive line tonight, I thought, showed flashes like they done last week against a very competent front in the Los Angeles Rams, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers presented a front and is equal a front tonight. And the Texans showed flashes of it. I think Nick Chubb, he got loose on a 26-yard touchdown run there. Again, plays what I brought up to Coach Ryan last week, in that inside run that he was able to break it and go for a touchdown. More clean. Once he escaped the line of scrimmage, he was clean for the other 24 yards all the way to the end zone. So that needs to get that's a plus. I will be quite candid with you. I know they were trying to get Nico Collins the ball more, so there was a determined effort to get Nico off tonight, and it showed, because he got a touchdown tonight. But there's a disconnect. There's something wrong here. beside the pressure that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were putting on the Texans and CJ, there are some throws. I know CJ, once he goes back and look at the film, he's going to want to, there's going to be a ton of, not a ton of throws, but there's going to be several throws that he's going to wish he could have back. But you know what? That's why they have practice. That's why they have film. And they'll sit down and look at the film, and then they're going to have to come back and figure out, okay, where do we go from here? As this season is not done yet, but you know what? If they planning on getting to the playoffs, they're gonna have to hurry up and get the and turn this baby around, because as it stands right now, this is a pig with a Chanel dress on, with Chanel perfume on, but it's still a damn pig, and you're not looking good at all. It's ironic that I was one of my colleagues. I said, yeah, as it stands right now, the Texans going to be another 1 point loss. And lo and behold, it was. It did wind up another 1 point loss. Well, it was 14-19 against the Rams. And, but this time, at least they got into the end zone a couple of times. So we know that they can get to the end zone. But, it's something that is not quite clicking with the offense. And I'm not going to lay this at the feet of Nick Caley, not right now, because I saw some things. It's a few things I'm picking up toward the latter part. I noticed in the first part of some motions and things, trying to put Nico in different positions. So I did see some things they're trying to do a little bit different. But it's a chess match out there, and I think right now, uh, you know, our queen is getting taken by a rook from, and I say that not in a very negative sense. I'm just saying it from and I'm not a chess master, but I mean, our queen has been left vulnerable, and guess what? So far, it's been taken. We are not protecting, we are not protecting our home base like we should. So there was some, and be quite candid, guys, we're not overly talkative tonight. When you lose a game like they lost tonight, it's tough, and you respectful for what they do. But those guys, I think, some stand up guys in there, they were willing to talk to us and give us, talk about the situation that as it occurred tonight. And I got some tape, but considering the lateness of the night and hour, because I'm going to get ready to shut this bad boy down and get on the road and get back, because I got a long day tomorrow. But then that's my deal, not yours. So as again, the Texans 0-2 on this young season. They cannot go down 0-3. Not going to the Jacksonville Jaguars next week. That's who they'll play next Sunday, Jacksonville Jaguars. The Texans have to hurry up and right this ship, because if they get down, they basically 0-2 within the league. But if they get down 0-3, and one of those three is within your division, you got problems. And so it's time for this Texan to right the ship, and they better hurry up and get it. They better get it straightened out, because time is a fleeting, and you only, as they say, you're now 2/17 of a season in, and you don't really have nothing to show for it. But the better team. We were not the better team. We're still making some mistakes. It was techniques tonight. Last week it seemed to have been techniques from an offensive perspective. Tonight, and I know, and I thought, and at least in my opinion, I thought there was some ticky-tack calls that maybe, but you know what? Don't put yourself in a position to get a referee to maybe look like that might be the case, because there was a touch. I mean, to me, I think it was Nico. I could be wrong, but in the end zone, in the south end zone, when the pass went around, the DB had pinned one of the receivers on, but the referee didn't catch it. So that was blatant. Christian Harris, when I thought they had shut the Bucs down, he got called for hands to the face. And when I turned around and looked at it, I'm going like, it to me, it was. I don't even think it was borderline. And I'm trying to stay as objective as I can about this. I don't think it was necessarily borderline, but the thing about it, you put yourself in a position so when the referee, if there's any doubt, the doubt didn't rest with you tonight. You don't leave a doubt with the referee. If the referee, he's gonna call what he sees or what he thinks he sees, and that's exactly what he done. That gave bred new life into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight, because when the defense had stops, all of a sudden you turn around and then you have committed a defensive foul, and then you give them another opportunity. So, folks, that's it. That's where we are right now. Let's see. Got a comment. Okay. Okay. Good. Then let that comment go. Somebody would go Rockets. Maybe the case. Anyway, but hey, I'm getting ready to shut it down. Again, the Texans fall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight, 20-19. White running back, 6 seconds left on the clock. They go ahead and for all intent and purposes, they went for two, but it wouldn't have mattered because it would have been a unique situation for the Texans to run the kickoff back, but they didn't do it. So that's where we are. ML, I'm gonna go ahead and ML. Rockets are going to do better than the Texans this year. Okay, I'll tell you what. When MLG Texas, I'll let you and Chris Gardner, when Chris comes on with his show, I'll let y'all knock that bad thing out. But until then, we'll see. But in the meantime, Texans again have to get ready and go. Have to get ready and go down to play the Jacksonville Jaguars, their first AFC South divisional opponent, and they got to go on the road, and they need to hurry up and get this thing right. So, as I get ready to say good night, have a good, safe night. While it's Tuesday, still Monday night. It's I know on the East Coast is on. It's already the next day, and out on the West Coast for those that are still watching. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for everyone for watching. But Texans are tough, maybe hand in hand. Okay. Hand in hand. Yeah. We'll see. But like I say, I still think that this team can pull it out. Yeah. Tell you what, it's gonna be. I'll put it like this: it's gonna be tough. MLG Texans, it's gonna be tough for them to do something different. Uh, let's see. Let's see how to. I'll tell you what. I'll let Chris handle the Rocket part of it. I'll just stick with the Texans part of it. And like I say, I still think that they can right this ship, but they better hurry up and get it right real quick. So, without further ado, this is your man, the Dolphins AD Moore, signing off from NRG Stadium as tonight the Texans go down to defeat again in this young season, 0-2. 20-19. The Bucs scored to the winning drive with 6 seconds left on the clock, and the Texans really, in my humble opinion, lost this game early when they had first and goal inside the 1 yard line and didn't do squat with the ball, even though they came back and scored the eventual touchdown to take a lead. I thought that they squandered the opportunity to really seize the momentum. They didn't do it. So we're done. I'm out. Ciao, folks. We'll be talking to you next week after the Texans face the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'll be here on the corner deciphering the game for you. Without further ado, this is your man, Adolphus A.D. Moore, signing off. We are done.